Good morning, everyone. We are up here at Rich Mountain WMA on our next virtual field trip in Gilmer County, Georgia. Just an hour away from Calhoun in the Ridge and Valley region of Georgia. However, we're in a new geographical region. We are now in the Blue Ridge Mountain region of Georgia, which is distinctly different from all the other regions. So we're here in the Blue Ridge region of Georgia at Rich Mountain WMA in a forest of hardwoods, cedar trees, mountain laurel, white pines, and one of our southern favorites in the Appalachian Mountains, the hemlocks. The hemlock tree is found across the eastern United States. Unfortunately, though, we can see with the hemlock tree that invasive species are causing a major issue. The woolly hemlock insect is bothering this tree and hurting the native population. Walking up the mountain here, we see a change in the outlay of the forest. We see that there's a batch of pine trees and other hardwoods that may have been burned at some point, or it could be from storm damage, or even worse, it could be another example of an infestation from pine beetles. Not really sure, just walking by, not knowing much about the area, but it's a good example of primary succession and ecology for those who are learning about the interactions of organisms in 7th grade life science. Certain plants, such as small shrubs, invasive species, weeds, and blackberries are going to come in and take over the area in which those trees were. And we can see that blackberry bushes and plants are starting to come up now, and it would be like this for a while unless we could have some thinning or potentially some larger trees take away some of those nutrients that are coming down or into the soil and some of the sunlight from them. So we're out here next to the Elijay River, and now you can really get a sense of the differences between the Ridge and Valley and the Blue Ridge Mountains. And, obviously we're not even on a mountain right now, but we're at the base of Rich Mountain here in Gilmer County, and on the Elijay you can see more mountain laurel, you can see the hemlocks, variety of pines, hardwoods, just a big mixture of native plant species. Interesting fact, looking at Georgia geography and talking about the Elijay River, in a few miles the Elijay will meet the Elijay River and form the Coosawattee River, which we're familiar with in Gordon County. It runs through Carter's Lake. Carter's Lake was dammed up to create itself, obviously, but the Coosawattee runs through Carter's Lake, meets the Conasauga, which comes from Whitfield County and the Cudahy Mountains, and forms close to the Elks Club in Calhoun and creates the Oostanala, which then runs through Gordon County and Floyd County into Rome, which then meets the Etowah, which forms the Coosa River, which flows to Lake Wise in Alabama and eventually meet some other rivers. But just a unique opportunity for us to look at how organisms and abiotic and biotic factors come together to create the environments we live in and play in. Another thing we didn't talk about, which is pretty evident, is the fact that metamorphic rocks and igneous layers here in the Blue Ridge Mountains pairs with the massive amount of rainfall in this region, which receives more rainfall than any other region in Georgia, and forms these beautiful mountain streams and rivers that supply a lot of water for the state of Georgia. Just stopping here for a brief moment on our virtual field trip. We can see a small hemlock tree here. We can see mountain laurel coming up along the edges of the Elijay River, and we can see a friend that we often overlook where we're from, river cane. And you can continue to see more evidence of all the kingdoms. We see fungus over here growing on a tree. Down the river, you can zoom in. There's 2 or 3 Canadian geese down there. But you're always surrounded by plantae, animalia, fungi, bacteria, archaeobacteria, and protists. All 6 kingdoms are there. You just gotta stop, look, and listen. So just stopping for a brief moment again on our virtual field trip. Here we see a small tributary feeding into the Cartacea, and this reminds us how everything is connected and everything plays a major role in this big, beautiful planet. But this small stream is probably fed by a spring somewhere up the mountain, and eventually will make its way to Gordon County via the Cartacea and the Coosawattee. Hey everyone, we are wrapping up our virtual field trip here at Rich Mountain in Gilmer County. We've looked at a variety of content areas and standards today. We've touched on the impact of rock layers and erosion and weathering in the Blue Ridge Mountains here in Georgia. We've also looked at how different geographical regions in the state of Georgia are very complex and unique when compared to one another. However, we have also looked at how ecosystems in various places overlap and impact one another. We've looked at how waterways in Georgia connect various geographical areas and how they even impact the community in which we live. But in closing, it was just a good reminder that we can still get out here in nature and social distance from one another. We ran into several people, but we made sure we remained 6 feet apart at all times. But that doesn't mean that we couldn't speak to one another and use those soft skills and social skills that we've worked on throughout the year. And this is a good time to think about those and focus on some areas of growth that we can all get better in. But until next time, see you later.